Hi, I'm Dave Okumu. I'm a musician, producer, songwriter, collaborator, lover of syncopation, and this is my Bored to Death. Yeah, I love feeling out of control when I'm exploring things, and because that sort of introduces new ideas and takes me to places that I otherwise wouldn't have gone. So I think that's something that I always look for with pedals, is like, is this going to take me somewhere that I wouldn't have thought about myself? So that really excites me. But you know, pedals perform different roles. There are some that are really functional. There are some that just, you know, are very, very immediate, and then there are some that you want to really spend some time getting to know. And you know, there are others that every time you turn them on, they kind of seem to do something different, and they feel so sort of vital and alive, and that's a good look in my view as well. So yeah, I'm sort of looking for everything. It's not very reasonable, but I want everything out of everything. This is my main board, and it definitely has like some mainstays, but I've introduced some new things since becoming sort of acquainted with the EarthQuaker stuff, which has just been a really, really wonderful journey. I'm definitely just at the beginning, but really, really enjoying it. But yeah, to take you through, I don't really know what order this stuff is in. I guess it's sort of dirt first, wobble second, and echoes and delays after that. But the way I've got things set up today, there's some additional things that I'm sort of exploring and using quite a lot that are off the board as well. So obviously starting off with a trusty tuner, the day that I got that was the day that I ceased to be able to tune an instrument without a tuner. So my ears definitely got worse, or like my love of out of tune things has increased since buying that tuner, ironically. There's the overdrive, which I think may well be the first pedal that I bought with my own money, and yeah, I love this thing. I just use it. It's just like you know, just gives me a little boost. You know, when I need a bit of edge. I just, you know, I'd sort of bring that in situations when you know, if I was going to jump out or do a solo, I'd sort of always want a bit of bite and a bit of grit. So yeah, that's just been a mainstay. I don't know, where do we go next? I think it goes to the Bit Commander, which is a new addition. I mean, it's quite telling that you know, the EarthQuaker stuff is slowly taking over my board because I'm enjoying it so much. There's such an immediacy to the sound worlds that come from these pedals. Yeah, as soon as I put the Bit Commander on, it just took me into this world of like funk. I kind of like pretending that I'm just in Stevie Wonder's band when I put that on, but it also does a whole range of stuff, because it's kind of, you know, you've got the up and the down and the sub, and yeah, such a range of colours, but really, really pleasing in the way that they blend into whatever sort of sound world you're dealing with, which I just think is so impressive, because sometimes you get pedals and, you know, they promise the world, but when you actually try and employ them in a context, they don't, you know, I've definitely struggled with some things and regretted some purchases in my time, and that's really not happening with these things. So I'm just finding the stuff just works, basically. Yeah, big up. The aspect that is really significant to me about like pedals, just in relation to like my practice creatively, is they seem to sort of exist on this threshold of the unknown, basically. And so you can bring what you do know, you can bring your craft and, you know, what you've already kind of got down, and they can take you somewhere completely new. And that's really, really useful when your life is constructed around finding inspiration and looking for new things and wanting to exist in the moment. Something that I'm always looking for when I'm making music, when I'm performing music, when I'm recording music, is a sense of vitality and a sense of being in the moment. And you know, processing sound can just be a really, really wonderful way to get into that, basically, you know. And I love to feel like there's movement in what I'm doing. So if there's a sense of movement in terms of tones and colours and context, I guess, that's a really good look for me. And pedals definitely kind of allow me to explore that, yeah. Another thing in the world of sort of dirt and drive is this Hendrix Octave Fuzz thing, which came into my possession. I probably don't own it, but yeah, I just love this thing. It sort of gives me this, I use it for this sort of papery, scratchy sort of thing. I kind of use it for that sort of, yeah, that colour. That bite, it's like a really pleasing bite, and I really like the way it breaks up. Probably the only pedal that I've really spent a bit of time programming is this Memory Man. You know, the electro-harmonic stuff, I really, really love the old stuff, so there's a deluxe Memory Man that just lives in my studio. I used to take it out live sometimes, but it's kind of quite fragile, so it lives in the studio and gets a lot of use. But I really like, you know, some of the other things they do. And when this thing came out, yeah, it became the one thing that I sort of was like, you know what, I'm gonna actually spend some time programming some sounds. So this has, like, when I want to get into like Steve Reich territory. Lovely delay, but it also goes crazy. Yes, thank you very much. And little scratchy things, just a whole host of, you can get so much out of this thing. It's sort of almost scary. One thing that I absolutely love is reversing things. Really sort of takes me out of myself in a good way, makes me hear things in a cool way. Then, yeah, the Memory Boy, which I sort of got in an attempt to have something that I could take on the road that would do some of, you know, perform some of the functions of the deluxe that I have in the studio. And at the moment, I'm just really just set on this kind of like dubbed out. but you can do a lot of things with that guy. Then, yeah, the Mel 9, this sort of Mellotron synth, I guess, has come in use a lot, really. I like things that essentially say that they're one thing, but they kind of compel you to use them in another way. So, you know, when I see orchestra, I'm not thinking, I'm going to use this to try and create the effect of an orchestra. It's just about the colors that I can get. So, let me give that a bit of a boost. A load of different things. I really enjoy the sort of crazy choir stuff as well. Yeah, they can, and I love anything that has a sort of blend knob on it, you know, because you can really kind of get involved with where you want things to sit in the mix, and that's really fun too. Okay, I'm going to move to the Whammy. What a beast of a pedal that is, my God. Yeah, just use this in lots of ways. I enjoy kind of that sort of, I guess that sort of Princey thing. You know, that stuff is great. The Whammy's amazing for that. But also, you know, there's all this harmonizing stuff that you can do. I really like it on a kind of fifth above. Also useful for if you want to have an octave above or an octave below, that kind of situation can be pretty cool. Yeah, lots of stuff come from that beast. Okay, so the Supermoon is really fun. When I got this pedal, I really like things that wobble and modulate, and I love imperfection. I love accidents. So much music that I really respond to engenders that aspect of being alive, and I love anything that sort of rails against the pursuit of perfection that the digital age has sort of foisted on us, basically. So when I got this thing, the Supermoon, and it's got this sway button on it that just makes the tail go out of tune, essentially. I always used to like have it whacked up full because I was sort of really enamored of it, and I think it just made everybody that I played with sort of feel like throwing up. I specifically remember doing a gig with Floating Points at the Dimensions Festival, and he was just like, "Man, are you like ever going to be in tune?" Because I just was always doing stuff like this. You can sort of hear that tail just when you have it up, like right up. It's not going to help any singers anytime soon. So yeah, I've always enjoyed that pedal. The Superego is pretty fun as well. It's like, you know, freeze functions are just great to play with. I kind of use it for that sort of effect. So I guess if you're kind of doing things like and you can give it different qualities, and you know, you can make it gliss. I also like having just the wet signal. So the Astral Destiny is a new addition to the board. I'm just becoming acquainted with it, and it's yeah, I'm loving its possibility because it's allowing me to explore that sort of rich, kind of wet landscape, but again in a way that actually blends really well with everything. It doesn't just like wash everything out, and it's got so much character, and you know, it's got a mix knob on it, which is always great. But I love the fact that it's not just reverb and shimmer. There's like wobble to it, basically. So yeah, I mean, yeah, there's so much you can get out of this thing. I'm just really only just starting. If I turn the wet, I'll just turn the wet up a bit fuller. So. Yeah, just like lovely decays and very, very characterful pedal. I'm really enjoying that one. The Dynacomp is just it's a compression that's kind of very colourful and squashes things in a pleasing way. Yeah, there's times when I really want it and times when I don't, but it's so small it just kind of lives on the end there. Disaster Transport Senior, like in a similar way to the Astral Destiny, I love the fact that it has, you know, these two delays, reverb and modulation. Yeah, just the characterfulness and diversity of this pedal is just is so pleasing to me. So yeah, it's really cool having all of those options, but again, like not in a way that's overwhelming. It's very, very immediate. Sort of sounds great. Yeah, really nice. Again, just so much you can do with that. I think the only other thing I want to talk about as a sort of mainstay situation is the Line 6, which I predominantly, again, it's lots of delay options on there, but I predominantly use it for looping. I love the looping functions on this, and you know, I feel like when you get into looping and sampling yourself, you find something that you like, and then that's it. Because you know, the Memory Man does it as well, but I just really like using the Line 6, so that's been there for a long time too. And that's yeah, that's pretty much it for the main board. I feel like breaking things down only really has value if it's about reconstituting it into the whole, and the whole for me is about the intuitive and the spontaneous, and it's about the unconscious in a way. So really, whilst all of this stuff is really fascinating to me, it's only fascinating insofar as it takes me to an unconscious state. And sometimes the short track to that place is actually not being familiar with things. So I like to dance between this line of being really familiar and having a lot of depth and insight into certain elements, but also just having unknown things that introduce chaos and where I don't really know what I'm doing, and where it's going to ensure that one performance to the next is completely unique. And it's about making mistakes, it's about fumbling, and that leading to really special places, you know, and bringing your knowledge and expertise to a place that's going to like humble you and like fill you with wonder. I think that's really the best energy you can have as a musician, in my opinion. Yeah.